What's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 21 Ultimate Team video. The final release, the final week of the 50 promo in MUT 21 is today, which means if you've played all your solos up until this point, you've earned 100 stars. You get to pick a free Week 8 through Week 15 50 card, a full card, ranging from 93 overall all the way up to a 96 overall. We're going to go over most of the choices in this fantasy pack, let you know the best ones based on maybe some of your team needs, so let's get on into it. Now, with these solos, they don't expire, at least there's no end date listed on here, so don't worry if you're not caught up. You definitely got time because they've been around all year, right? But 100 out of 100 stars get you the free card. Now, there was a little bit of a panic going on, and I can't find it right now, but okay, actually, I know where it is. It's in the missions. Earlier today, if you went to the missions, this description said earn 100 stars, yada, 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 and it said a choice of any 91 to 95 overall Nat Stack player, and it was a bit concerning because we thought, you know, these really good 96 overall cards like Vic, Moss, and then the new ones that came out today, Barry, LT. EA's not going to let us get one of those for free after playing all of these solos, 100 solos throughout, you know, the last 15 weeks. Meanwhile, the description under Milestone said you were definitely going to be getting one, and it was a little concerning, but it was just a typo, and it actually looks like they fixed it already, so that's good news. But again, with these solos, you want to play all of them, get 100 stars, and if you go to the Milestone rewards, you're going to see Tier 16 is a Nat stacked player. Stacked means a full card, weeks 8 through 15, so I believe they range from 93 overall all the way up until 96 overall, and you get to pick one for free. Now, one thing to point out, these cards are Nat, and they also do not come with the power-up, which is definitely going to influence, well, at least for some of you, might influence who you pick, because some power-ups are extremely expensive, some power-ups are already in the game, and you can get them for a pretty solid price, so, you know, that's probably going to play a part. So we knocked out all of our solos. Let's go through the fantasy pack. I'm going to give you some honorable mentions and point out a couple cards specifically, and then we'll get into the very best cards, the very best choices to make. And again, all of you have different team needs, different theme teams, different positions that you want to fill, favorite players. So this isn't going to be a kind of, it's not going to apply to everybody in every situation, but let's go through the whole entire pack. So as you can see, you open it up, the 96s are in there, and they go all the way back to these 93s. So let's go through a few here. If I don't talk about them, that means you probably shouldn't pick them, again, unless they're for a specific theme team choice of your needs. We're going to get to Sebastian Janikowski. Now, do I recommend using your free pick on this card? No, I don't at all. But if for whatever reason you need a really good kicker, Seabass is probably the best one out there. I would say go get Tyler. I think his first name's Tyler. Tyler Bass. It's the zero chill kicker for the Bills, 91 overall. He's really, really cheap and pretty good. You know, not as good as Seabass here. But yes, if you do need a kicker, this is going to be your best choice. We're going to move along. The best defensive tackle, the best kind of up front, like, you know, the community says stick boy out there, is definitely going to be Warren Sapp. He is a monster against the run. You put inside stuff on this card, and he's just going to shed blocks like crazy. He's actually got some solid speed as well for QB smying in certain situations. So Warren Sapp, another really good card. Would I use my free pick on this card? Absolutely not. Megatron, Kelvin Johnson, I gotta say, this card, very forgettable, very just lackluster. I want to point this card out because it's a big name. It's a player that a lot of people were waiting for. Card was very underwhelming. I got rid of it very, very fast. He just wasn't fast enough. There's so many other better receivers out there. And of course, there's one other better receiver in this grouping of cards we can choose from. Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback in this pack. I think he's the only quarterback now that I think about it. So if you desperately need a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be your guy. But another card where I just do not recommend using your pick on him. So unless you're really desperate for a quarterback, you got Aaron Rodgers out there. Julius Peppers is probably the best pass rusher other than one other guy we're going to mention, but I do really like this Julius Peppers card. So if you're rocking like a Packers team, Panthers, Bears, a play or a team that Peppers played for in the past, definitely check this card out. I think it's a really solid card. Best options out there? Absolutely not, but it's up there. It's one of the better ones. Moving on to 95 overall, Sean Taylor, really good card. Good hit power, though fumbling doesn't really happen much in Madden 21, but he plays really good zone, good man coverage. He can tackle very well. Fast card, great user, play him at sub linebacker. I really like this card. I think we're really limited in the best choices because of the overall differences here. We've covered 93s, 94s, even at 95. There's just so many good 96s. That's really where the best cards are going to come. But Sean Taylor, absolutely a good choice. The tough thing about the majority of the cards that I've named so far is that with these cards, getting them as Nat, like Sean Taylor, you're going to have to pay a bit of a price on his power-up. Aaron Rodgers, you won't have to worry about that. Kelvin Johnson, you will. Warren Sapp, you will have to. Seabass, I wouldn't recommend even paying for a power-up on a kicker right now. But now let's get into the best choices, right? So it's no question. There's 6 cards with a 96 overall. 5 of them are really good. You're probably, trying to figure out which of these 5 guys do you get. Well, Deion Sanders, this is actually the card that I went with. And the biggest reason that I did is because I already had his full 96 overall card. And it was going for about $850K earlier today. So I said, I'm going to sell my Deion and I'm going to replace the Deion that I got out of a pack with this Nat card to basically make some coins out of it. So Deion, the best cornerback out of all of these. He's fast, good man coverage, good zone coverage. The only thing I don't like about this card is his press coverage, but so far, over a week having him, he hasn't really let me down. He's made a lot of plays. So if you need a cornerback, a playmaker on defense, Deion is definitely a good pick. Randy Moss, best wide receiver out of these, choices that you have. The good thing about Randy is with the new ability point increase, it's worth it to put route technician on him, especially if you're playing on old gen Madden. New gen Madden, he's going to be a monster because coverage is busted and broken and doesn't work very well. So you're just going to be able to throw streaks and downfield with him all the time. On old gen gameplay, everybody from what I can tell is still running man-to-man coverage, which can be tough. In putting route technician, because there's a 12-point ability cap now, you got a little more flexibility. Putting route tech on a guy like Randy Moss is just, it's very useful and helpful. Let me go back to Deion really quick. One thing I forgot to mention with Deion, his power-up. I don't know what it's priced at today, but throughout the last week or so, it was like 20 to 30K. So that's another reason why Deion's base card was so expensive. The fact that you can get Deion's power up for pretty cheap right now. And again, I haven't price checked it today. So even if you got to pay 50, 60, 70K for it, that's still worth it. Also, don't forget, you have legend solos that you can play for Deion that will gift you this one for free. If you've already played it, then you're kind of SOL there. But if you haven't, you can go and play his legend solo, get his power up for free, get this card for free. You're getting a lot of things for free there. Randy Moss, on the other hand, not going to be able to get that power up for cheap. Hopefully they put these guys who got power ups for the 50 specifically, hopefully they get power ups in regular packs eventually. I'm sure they will. It's just a matter of when. But also, don't feel the pressure to power up somebody. Don't feel like you have to power up Randy Moss. This card is really good without powering him up right now, and you can also still put physical chem, scheme chem. You can't change his team chem, so it's going to hurt for theme teams. But you can put those chems on a non-powered up card, and that's something you couldn't do in years past. So if you have to, like you really want Moss, right? If you have to just play with this card without his power up for a couple weeks, you're going to be okay. There's not going to be that much of a difference other than team purposes rocking this Randy Moss versus the powered up Randy Moss, I promise you. So don't overpay for his power up. Same thing's going to go with Barry Sanders, which we'll talk about in a moment. But Michael Vick. All right, so Vick, another old gen versus new gen thing. If you're on old gen, Vick is pretty good. He feels like a Michael Vick card. He's fast, he scrambles, you can put escape artist on him. Even without escape artist, he's going to get outside of the pocket. He's going to be able to throw downfield with that really high throwing power. You can get Gunslinger on this card, so that's a W. If you're playing on next gen or new consoles, Michael Vick doesn't feel like Michael Vick. It's a big reason why I switched back to old gen until a new patch comes out. He just feels slow, lethargic. It doesn't work. And then also he can't get Hot Route Master. There's some other quarterbacks out there like Rich Gannon that can get it. And that's why I got rid of him. But I still think this is a really good card. But if you're on the new gen consoles or next gen consoles, I would actually stay away from this card. Once he gets another upgrade, he'll probably get Hot Route Master. He's probably going to be the best quarterback in the game by far. Just doesn't feel as fast on the new gen consoles. Old gen, he does, but there's just better options out there. But he also played for so many theme teams: Eagles, Falcons, Jets, Steelers. I could see why a lot of you guys would want to pick him up. Plus, like Deion Sanders, his power-up is obtainable through solo challenges. And if you've already played that solo or don't have it, you can usually still find this power-up for a pretty fair price. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of coins for a power-up, which is definitely good. Let's move on to the 3 new cards that came out today. Without using this card, I would have to say probably the best pass rusher in the game. He hits all 3 pass rushing, thresholds above 90 with the finesse move, power move, block shed. Very fast. LT is very, very fast, which is good. His power-up is going to be not too expensive because, like Vic, like Deion, there's a solo where you can go get that one, so that's pretty cool. I think I had to get, I paid about $30K this morning. I had to buy one. We do have LT on the squad. Obviously, I haven't played any games with him, but this is a really, really good choice. And I think Vic, Deion, and LT are probably in the top 3 choices because you don't have to worry about overpaying for their power-up, and that's going to save you some coin in the long run. And he's, the best pass rusher on the field. I would say Deion's the best defender completely. Randy's probably the best offensive player out of all of these. Vic, Vic is Vic, so we don't have to explain that. LT, best pass rusher. Kevin Mawai, I don't want you to use, guys. Just please don't use your free choice on a center. I'm just going to skip past that. And then we have Barry Sanders. This one's tricky, right? Because he's probably the best back in the game. You can probably get him at 99 speed, 98 speed. If you power him up, he does get all team chemistries. Because he had that team diamond earlier in the year, he has that. And that's going to make this card so much more glitchier. The problem here is that, number one, you're going to have to buy the power-up. I haven't even looked at his pricing, but I'm sure it's really, really expensive. Number two, the 93 or 94 overall card that you need in his power-up path to power him up is also like 800,000, 900,000 coins. Because it's a card that you have to do team diamond sets for to get, the only way you probably were winning in this situation is if you hung on to that card for a very long time. I kind of, in hindsight, wish that I did. So that's why Barry is probably a no-go for me. Best bet here is kind of pull a Randy Moss, is play with the card without the power-up and wait for hopefully Barry's power-up to get into packs. And then you're still going to have to, cross that river of getting that team diamond master card, which is almost 1 million coins right now. So Barry's a good card, but there's just a lot of loopholes to jump through to get him powered up all the way. But once you can, you got a fantastic card, and you're going to get any theme team you want on him, which is going to make him better. But he's going to be really, really expensive. So for my money, the top 3 are probably going to be LT, Moss, and Deion. Top 5, throw Vic and Barry in there, but those two, Moss and Barry are going to be a little more expensive than the others because of the power-ups. Again, don't be afraid to play with these cards without the power-up. Wait until they're back into packs, or they get into packs, I should say, and become much cheaper. Let me know down below in the comments section, who did you guys pick and why? Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.